Good morning, good morning, Facebook Live family. Good morning. Waiting for folks to join. As we get our day started today, I'm always excited to see Get Me Through Wednesday because people are really beginning to look forward to it. So, Stephanie, thank you. You know, you my sister. Demont, my brother from the Morehouse, Graves Hall. Brian Watson, we go all the way back to Bernards, man. Good to see you this morning, man. Happy belated birthday. Aunt Gertha, good to see you on and well. Cynthia, Sister Cynthia, good supporter of Get Me Through Wednesday. Good to see you this morning as well. Good to see all of you all are well this morning. I'm just glad to be on. Glad to be in position to this. Cheryl, all high school classes. Let me know if the reception is good. Okay. Karen Chrisman, my sister-in-law. Good to see you this morning. Be sure that with Get Me Through Wednesday that you go onto our Facebook page, you like us, share these videos with some folks. We also got a YouTube page under Cedric Nelms Ministries. We're going to start doing some stuff on Tuesdays called Tuesday Tips, to where I'll be doing like a little short Bible study that we'll put up on there. So be looking forward to that. But share this stuff. If it's something that's good for you, if it's something that meets your needs or whatever the case might be, then share it with your family and friends. Mia, good to see you. Hope all is well with you. But share it with some folks. Also, we always want to invite you out to our church. We meet on Sundays, 12 p.m. over in the city of Watts. We're located at 1430 East 103rd Street. We sit on the corner of 103rd and Success. Like I said, we meet at 12 p.m. Francisco, I see you, brother. So come out and be a part of our service. Pastor Trevor, my brother from another, good to see you, my man. Come out and fellowship with us some Sundays. We'd be glad to see you. We just have a good time. Pastor Trevor does a 5-minute Bible study in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening. And sometimes in the evening, this brother sings. So if you get a chance to see his 5-minute Bible study, I encourage you to do so. All right. Carol, my cousin Carol Charles, good to see you all the way down in South Louisiana. Good to see you, family. Love you guys. Dana, old classmate, decided to move all the way over on the East Coast. Good to see you. Hope you and the husband are doing well. So yeah, come out and fellowship with us. Our website is www.choseng129.org. So go check out our website if you get the chance. All right, let's get into this Get Me Through Wednesday. Over the last couple of weeks, we've been dealing with some things. The first week we kind of dealt with this reassignment, and when we get reassigned, when we get changed, and when our assignment changes from what we think it is to something else, we talked about Gideon, how Gideon was working in the wine press. A dude was isolated, but the angel of the Lord came and said, mighty warrior, and he wasn't even fighting at that time, didn't even look at himself as a warrior. How you get reassigned. Last week we talked about position, how sometimes you're in the wrong position, and if you're out of position, things will not flow the way you want them to flow. So we talked about positioning last week. Today we're going to talk about adjusting our attitude. When you get reassigned, when your position changes, the thing that I think we battle with all the time is our attitude. We are currently living in a society or living in a time period where everybody's attitude is on 1,000. So anything that we do can affect somebody's attitude. And we saw that in this presidential election. There was a lot of attitude. There was a lot of arrogance. There was a lot of what I call pontificating upon ludicrousy, if you will. Attitude is something that we have to deal with. I've been working with my students, and I teach middle school, so we started on fruits of the spirit. So last week we dealt with love. This week we dealt with joy. We're going to finish it out tomorrow. And we talked about joy, and I was talking about joy and happiness. Happiness is based on what you receive. As long as my wife is giving me gifts, as long as my kids are giving me love and everybody's adoring, Pastor, I'm happy. But what about when that all quiets down? Joy is what you got on the inside. Joy is what you got to live with when things are bleak, when it's overcast outside, when the bills are due and your money is low and no gas in the tank, and you and your partner are not loving each other like you're supposed to. You got to find some joy in that. That joy is an extension of your attitude. Okay, so I want you to realize two things when it deals with your attitude. Attitude deals with your sight, and attitude deals with your speech. Okay, attitude is about what you see. It's about your outlook. The thing that my parents always trained me on was you always got to adjust your sight, how you look at things. If I look at things in a negative fashion, then my attitude will say that it's negative. So it's one of those things that we're in, and I'm being funny here, okay? So when I look in the mirror and I see, okay, wow, I got 100 pounds to lose. Now I can be negative in that and say, you know what, Cedric, you fat, you ain't gonna do nothing, you just keep on eating, don't worry about it. Or I can say, you know what, I can see myself doing something differently. But I gotta see myself first at the gym before I get there. That way my attitude is, regardless of what happens, my attitude is I'm going to lose weight and I'm going to do whatever I have to do to lose it. Attitude plays out in every part of our life. Your attitude is why you spend the way that you spend, or why you don't save the way that you save. Attitude is based on how you relate to your partner. Either you look at your partner as an anchor or you look at your partner as a helpmate. It's all about your attitude. Attitude is how we raise our children. If you keep telling your son you ain't going to be nothing and he's just like his daddy, don't get mad when he grows up and he's just like his daddy. You've placed your attitude, your outlook, how you see things. My brother Nick from Oaktown, Morehouse, I see you, man. Love you, man. Your attitude is based on your sight. How do you see things? I see myself not where I am today. I see myself not in the position that I am today. I see myself much further along because of what God has placed inside of me. But that starts with your sight. How are you looking at things? How you look at things affect how you feel about things, which affect your attitude. Hey, Yvette, I see you. Clark, Atlanta, my sister from the Bay. The other thing outside of your sight is your speech. We speak negative stuff. I'm sorry, folks. I do it. I know some of y'all do it. Some of the people I know do it. We speak negative stuff. What we say has an adverse effect on how we feel about things. And this is something that I work with my students on. I'm constantly working with them on your attitude. If you say that you're going to fail the test, don't get mad when you get an F. It's all about how you speak about things. Our words have power. Your tongue is a two-edged sword. It can curse somebody or it can speak blessings. And sometimes we speak curses over our life, which is why our attitude is so bad. If I'm constantly saying negative things, why do you think I'm always negative? You got to speak some positive stuff, even in the midst of negativity. Here in LA, it was storming the last couple of weeks. And Sunday before last, it was storming hard. We had Friends and Family Day at our church. And in my heart, I was like, nobody's going to show up. in my heart. That was my attitude. Nobody's going to show up. But I started speaking blessings because I started listening to gospel music, and I started saying, you know what, Lord, it's in your hands. You're going to work this thing out. We're going to have a blessed Sunday. I started speaking that. Do you realize that in the storm and the rain, we had double of what we usually have on Sundays? Hey, Marie. Good to see you. We had double than what we were supposed to have. Sometimes you got to speak some things. Stop speaking that you broke. What I say is that using some of the terminology that we have now, my alternative fact is my money is just tied up in holding accounts that have not been released yet. OK, so I'm not broke. I'm just working on some things to get myself in a position so that my funds can be released. OK, what you see and what you speak, what your sight is and what your speech is, work in tandem as far as your attitude goes. You've got to see some things differently. You got to speak some things differently. And the more that you see some things differently and speak some things differently, you realize that pretty soon your attitude is going to change. God is trying to send you that man or that woman. He wants your sight to change. He wants your speech to change. God is trying to send you into that position to where you get that job that you're not actually supposed to have that will increase your income and your influence. But God wants you to change your sight and your speech. Your children are supposed to prosper. They're supposed to do well. They are supposed to be blessed, but they are waiting for you to release them with your sight and with your speech. I'm going to use this, and I don't mean to be really churchy or really spiritual or really pastoral with this thing. But when John the Baptist baptized Jesus, Jesus came out of the water, and they say that the sky came open and a dove came down. What was the thing that God said? This is my son in whom I'm well pleased. Speech. You got to speak blessings over some things. You got to see some things differently than what you can see it today. Yeah, I know that job is crappy, but see yourself in another job. Start speaking on what you want. God needs to hear what you have in your heart. He knows what's there, but he wants you to speak it. When you go through the scriptures, the reason that the prophets were so powerful is because they were the voice of God. As I share with church, my family, my personal family, and my church family, we are in the year of declaration. We'll start prophesizing some things. We'll start living in the promises, and we're going to start living on the possibilities of God. What is possible will be conceived because we will see it and we're going to speak it, and therefore we will live in the promise. But God declare it, people. My wife is on. Good to see you, babe. I didn't see you this morning. Love you. You got to start speaking some stuff. You got to start seeing some things differently. That will adjust your attitude. In this season, let's do this. This is my challenge. For the next 30 days, adjust your attitude. Start seeing things different. Start speaking things different. And tell me what you get out of that. As an ex-football player, I've taken a lot of hits to the head, so I'm just dumb enough to believe that if we start seeing some stuff differently and speaking some things differently, God is going to activate himself and start releasing some blessings towards you. I'm speaking that in. I'm declaring that. You can call it prophecy if you want to. I'm declaring it. If we start seeing some things and speaking some things, and it will change our attitude. And therefore, when our attitude changes, that means that God is going to release some things. Start speaking over your house. Start speaking over your children. Start speaking over that supervisor at the job that gets on your nerves. Start speaking that over some of your friends, because some of us have toxic friends. We're going to deal with that next week. Mother Sanford, I see you. Love you. My cousin Michael is on. Good to see you. Love you, man. We got to start changing our attitude. Our attitude leads to our elevation, which affects our positioning, which then will have an undying and binding effect on our assignment. God is trying to reassign you. He's trying to change your position, but he needs your attitude to get right. He got something for you, folks, but we got to adjust our attitude. All right. So I challenge you, next 30 days, start seeing and speaking differently than you have from as you were yesterday. I challenge you to do that from this day forward for the next 29 days. Start seeing and speaking some things differently. Stop complaining about your church. Stop complaining about your pastor. Start seeing some stuff different. Start speaking some things differently. Let God work that thing out. Stop talking about what your children ain't going to do or what they are not doing that you don't like. Start seeing and speaking some things differently. As I close out, I went to the church that Sunday that it was storming, and I stood in the rain and I prayed in the parking lot. Not for God to send 500 folks to the church. I needed God to change my attitude, my outlook. Start praying over some stuff and you'll see it change. Because prayer changes things. And I know they say that in the old church. Prayer changes things, but they don't tell you the thing that it changes is you and your attitude. All right, let's get our attitude adjusted. Let's get through the day. Some of you all may be on lunch break. Hey, get back to work. Some of you all may be in transition trying to get from work. Some of you all may have stopped before you walked in to get this. Wherever you are, let's get our day started. Let's adjust our attitude. Let's see some stuff differently. Let's speak some different things. And I promise you, if you do that, your day will go much better. And pretty soon it becomes not necessarily a habit. It becomes a lifestyle. All right. Bless you. Pastor Pete is on. Thank you, Pastor Pete, Pastor Trevor, my cousin Michael and Carol, my sister-in-law Karen Christmas, Stephanie, I see you, Mother Sanford, my good friend, my ride or die, Marie, Yvette, Nick from the Bay, my Morehouse and Clark and Nana connection. Brian, I see you, man. I love you, dude. Mia, I see you. Love you. My little cousin, Michaela, I see you on here. Love you guys. Aunt Gertha. Everybody be blessed today. All right? Let's go out and change our attitude. I'm Pastor Said, and I'm out.